guys.
Right.
On the track, boys.
Shabam.
Shabam. So, hello everyone. Buenas noches, buenos dias, buenas tardes, whenever you're watching this. And welcome to BC WrestlePod, where we are here for another exciting episode of Los Lobos de la Lucha. I'm so excited to be back. It's going to be a fun night. But
Yes.
This is your weekly CMLL review show here at BC WrestlePod. Of course, I am Mikey, El Jefe of BC WrestlePod, and joining me this evening is my lovable Puerto Rican brother, hermano in arms, and my work husbando to a certain extent, Adolfo, and making his debut on the podcast. Cat.
I don't. Is it?
Love
I
you,
think he's
Lucas
been.
Cat.
Lucha Cat's been on before. It was on last week. See?
Yes,
Primo gets
but
it.
I would like to
Yeah.
announce that he is officially Los Lobos de la Lucha signed. This is a huge dub for the team.
big W. Big W.
It's a big W for the team. Unfortunately, we are missing Papa Oso tonight, but hopefully he will be here next week. He is currently in the midst of tech rehearsal week for his play that is opening up very, very soon. But
Very soon.
he will be here. Yes, so I'm super excited for him. And yeah, so but Adolfo and I and Lucha Cat to a certain extent, as well as Primo, our unofficial co-host of the chat, we're going to be talking about this past Viernes Espectacular for CMLL. And
Yep.
I'm just going to spoil it because the vapors are coming when we get to the main event because I will cry. I will do all sorts of crazy things because our boyfriend is back, y'all.
Oh man, so good. He looks so good. Looked like he
I
didn't
was
miss
just
a step.
like,
We got a lot of other cool stuff that happened between here and there. So let's
100%. And we will definitely talk about how I can grate cheese on those apps.
Our novio está en casa. It's
Exactly.
beautiful.
Primo, we're gonna
Yep.
talk about it because I was just like, anyways.
Anyway,
Before we get into all the CMLL goodness really quickly with the announcements, I'm gonna go through this really fast because I want to talk about all the lucha goodness that we got. But if you like what you see here, if you are new to BC WrestlePod and you want to check out all of our stuff and stay up to date on the video watching aspects of our programs, you can subscribe to the YouTube, follow us on Twitch or Kick, whatever your preferred video watching platform is. And you can check out all our stuff where we do the lives. We have edited post-show breakdowns of said lives, as well as some fun extra special videos that we do sometimes. If that is not your thing and you want to have something more self-contained, then you should follow us on your preferred social media platform at BC WrestlePod, where we do report cards, we do previews, we do predictions. It's all great stuff. And if you want to take it a step further and get something nice for yourself while also supporting us financially, there are two ways you can go about doing that. First and foremost, you can get some merchandise at our merch shop at bcwrestlepodshop.fourthwall.com, where we got a whole bunch of stuff. And just in time for the month of November, we have our special Dia de los Muertos collection, where the design has heavily been inspired by surrealist artist Salvador Dali. Pura mi peoples, mi gente. And listen, we have to get through Thanksgiving first, y'all, here in America. But as soon you bet your bottom dollar that a certain Miss Carrie will be flying out and you can grab our BC WrestleBot Christmas shirt coming to a shop near you.
man,
But
down on the island, they've been celebrating Christmas for the last 2 weeks.
That's very, very true.
The U.S. is just run behind like normal.
Stupid Gregorian calendar.
Right.
Man, but no, in all seriousness, I'm super excited about that. And ever so often, our little buddy, the coffee bot, will be popping up in the chats, ever so slightly, ever so often. If you want to help us keep the metaphorical and sometimes the physical lights on, please feel free to donate only if you want to. With that out of the way, though, now let's get into why we're really here, which is to talk about Lucha Libre and CMLL and Viernes Espectacular. So
good show. Fun show.
Let the trial commence. Anyways. So this is I'm excited because this is going to play into what's coming up this Friday too. So I'm excited. I was like, continuity. I'm just kidding. No, but we kick off Viernes Espectacular this past Friday, which, the November 7th edition. And our opening match is, of course, Oro Jr. and Diamond Diamante, if you want to. Taking on Polvora and El Coyote. Again, yes. Polvora and El Coyote, at least to us, are not new. We have seen them before. And I've only seen a little bit of Oro Jr. and Diamond in this match. I was just like, okay, let's see where we're going to get. I was not prepared for the ending.
No.
I was like, ooh, somebody lost their cool. I was like, keep it together. No. Oh my God. That was my reaction. That was literally real time. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, whoa.
Yeah. So to fill everyone in, in Lucha Libre rules, if you are wrestling a masked luchador, it is illegal to take their mask off. Polvora and El Coyote, they took off the masks of Oro Jr. and Diamond. So they lost the match. Um, which sets up for this upcoming Friday. But let's talk about the match real quick. The match itself, I thought was a really good beginner match. You know, like we say, week in, week out, the first match of Viernes de Spectacular sets the pace. And you know, these four, I feel, were like high energy. Worked really well together. I too haven't seen a lot of Oro Jr. and Diamond. Um, but yeah, it was like Primo said, it was a solid opener um, from four really talented luchadors, and setting up for a dramatic máscara contra máscara. So
I'm so excited for that in the new year. um, But yeah, like you said, I'm really excited because this does go into, well, what Primo said, leading into the cage match at the beginning of the year for New Year's. But on top of that, though, I do like it was like, oh, okay, so we're gonna run this back this Friday. Okay, I'm here for that. Let's do it. So I'm excited. This is, oh my goodness, this is gonna be a lot of fun. Excuse me, I watched a lot of wrestling today.
yeah,
Yeah, blood and guts, man, blood and guts. Anywho, so, of course, we are going to run this back this Friday, which I'm excited to see again because I really thought this was a good, solid opener, and I look
yeah,
forward to it. So, we're going to talk a little bit more about that when we get into previewing this upcoming episode of Viernes Espectacular. But again, solid opener, really solid work from all four of these individuals, and I can't wait for this Friday for them to run it back. We then get into our second match of the evening, which, of course, we love more lucha libre goodness too. From this solid
oh
opener,
yeah,
y'all get one of these. Y'all get
go,
one of these. First and foremost, that snakeskin, apparel that we're going on. And I was like, ooh, I don't know who did the stuff, but like just when the light hit it right, I saw the snake pattern. I'm like, I was like, ooh, I was like, I loved it. So y'all get one of these for the
yep,
outfits. You also get
yep,
one of these because this match was really solid too. Oh my gosh.
yeah, yeah.
So of course,
This was
yeah.
Yeah, this was great. Rudo contra Rudo. So we had Rudo versus Rudo with Akuma and the Himalo Diablo twins, which I know that's a double negative or double because Himalo is twin in Spanish. But yeah, we had Himalo Diablo Uno, Himalo Diablo Dos. They're facing off against Felino Jr., El Cobarde, Hijo de Stuka Jr. One of the best things about these six individuals is that on the one side you have Felino Jr., who's big and he's got moves. He is agile, but he is the bruiser, let's call it. El Cobarde, who is the more high flying one, and Hijo de Stuka Jr., who of course his dad Stuka, Stuka Jr. He's he's like a tweener. He does, he does some high flying stuff. He doesn't do a lot of a lot of like the moonsaults and whatnot. But he does do a lot of aerial things. But then on the other side, you have three big beefy luchadors in Akuma, Himalo Diablo Uno, and Himalo Diablo Dos, and these boys got ups. Like some of the moves they were pulling off was for gentlemen of their stature, physics dictates shouldn't happen. um, and of course, because it was Rudo contra Rudo, we had a lot of great like chicanery going on. The team of Akuma, Himalo Diablo Uno, Himalo Diablo Dos do end up with the win because Himalo Diablo Uno got pinned, but then Himalo Diablo Dos like switched spots with him because no one can ever tell them apart. And he ended up pinning, I think it was El Cobarde for the win. It was a lot of fun. The other point that like stuck out in this match to me was at the end of the second pinfall, because this was a relevo australiano, best 2 out of 3 pinfalls. At the end, the sequence that set up the end of the second pinfall, Akuma, Himalo Diablo Uno, Himalo Diablo Dos did this really fun aerial trading off thing where they ended up doing a triple pin situation in the middle of the ring. And whenever luchadors pull that off, it's just amazing to me. I love it. It's, to me, that's such a crowd pleaser. Especially, like I said, seeing these big, these three big boys doing the flippy dippy, but breaking laws of physics. It just it was really cool. And also Akuma, Himalo Diablo Uno y Himalo Diablo Dos, their ring gear when they come out is just
so on point. Oh my gosh,
right.
It's so good. I was loving it.
I'm so happy Akuma went with this whole devil mask thing when he comes out. It's so good.
Amazing.
It's so good.
Holy hell. Well, there were some implications in this, though, Adolfo, because after the match, we get a little bit of some mic time between the teams, which is setting up for the National Trios Championships to be on the line this Friday. Yep, exactly. Agent Lo-Fi, Primo, you came in with the exact same thing at the exact same time. This Friday, those belts are on the line, and yes, I'm here for all of it. I was like, so much fun.
Why do I feel that Akuma, Himalo Diablo Uno, Himalo Diablo Dos as a trios hasn't been together for a long time? Because I've seen Himalo Diablo Uno, Himalo Diablo Dos working with other people, but not Akuma. And like, Primo, fact check me on that. But yeah, no, I feel like they're a rather new trio put together. Not that I'm complaining. Okay, they've been together for a bit, just not used often. All right. Okay, cool. Not that I'm complaining, because the three of them worked really well together. So if they do end up taking the belts, like I would be happy. But yeah, Primo, same. I'm up in the air on who I want to see come out of this, because I really enjoy both teams.
I'm excited. I think this match this Friday is going to be really good for these belts. I will just say those, every time I look at Hijo de Stuco Jr., I was like, I can't with your Kamen Rider mask. Like, I was like, literally. And then the snakes are like the little Cholita eyebrows too. It's like he wrote him in a Sharpie. I was just like, I can't. But man, I was just like, damn, this is only the second match, and we still got a whole bunch of the card to go. I was like, what? What do you mean? I was just like, this is second out the gate. So, man, this was a solid opener. And again, when you pair this with what opened the show, energy was right, and it leads us right into our Amazonas action for the evening, which is the first of two Relampago matches that we were getting this evening. The first one being, of course, this Amazona one. This is, the girl who is getting this push out here, India Sui, taking on
Universal Champion. Our new Amazonas and Universal Champion.
Absolutely.
For 2025.
And then, of course, going up against one of our favorites. Glad that she's been back for the last couple of weeks, and Miss Zuxis.
Puerto Rican Power, Zuxis.
Yes, I was just like, my love. I love her so much. I will say, I don't think this match was necessarily bad. I think it was very solid. I will admit, at least for me, it took me a little bit to get into it for the first couple of minutes. And then once the crowd started to get behind it, then the energy kind of shifted. And then the girls kind of got into it a little bit more. Again, this wasn't bad. I thought by the end of this was a really solid bout. However, I will say this is not necessarily my favorite bout of the card. I still thought it was solid, and if we're gonna say this was the worst match of the evening, and it was still pretty good, which is saying
Right.
a lot for the talent. But I will say I think this was probably my least favorite match on the card. I don't know. I felt like it took them a little bit to get the chemistry going, but once the crowd started getting into it, and then they started to find their rhythm, is the last half of this match was very, very fun to watch.
I'm I don't know. I can't I guess if we would have to rank the matches and say like which one we thought is the best and which one we thought was not the best. Yeah, I would say that this Relampago match would be the bottom. But that is, I feel, a very false simplification
Mm-hmm.
of the match,
Mm-hmm.
because it was a strong match. It's still a very strong wrestling match, very strong Amazonas match. I feel India Sui, each week, ever since she's picked up the Universal belt, each week that I've seen her, I feel like she's getting better and better.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes any sense. I feel Zooxies is really starting to find her stride again. I think she looks really good, and she's starting to look really solid. Dare I say Zooxies is looking a lot more athletic
Mm-hmm.
since she's come back from her injury, which then has me beg the question: how long was her ACL um, bothering her for?
Mm-hmm.
Because before she went out with the full injury, um, it seemed, and I think I mentioned this in a few of the reviews, it seemed like she was holding back a little bit. It seemed like something was slowing her down. But yeah, fine, solid match. India, picking up that win to kind of, solidify, that she's the universal champion.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and getting that push.
Exactly. And Primo coming in with these facts, India picking up a lot of wins lately, which is very, very true. Not only has she been picking up a lot of wins too, but she also made it to the end of the time limit draw when it was her versus Persephone last week,
Yep,
or 2 weeks ago, I should say.
yep.
Like,
Oh yeah, and it's very interesting that India Sui has made it back from hell.
yes, there's a lot of people. I was just like, I thought I saw you get dropped. Anyways,
Yeah.
but
It's fine.
it
You made
is.
you made deals with the gods of death. That's on you,
We love it.
because that never
Anyway,
works that well.
nope. But India once again picks up the victory here in this Relampago match, picking up another win over the last the last month or two. And you know what? I am glad to see Zooxies kind of finally. I don't want to say she was bad beforehand, but it's now that she's back into the fold of things, because
Yeah, yeah,
she's been out since June, because the last time
yeah,
we saw her was when we found out she was injured was during her match with Mercedes Monet at Grand Slam Mexico.
yeah.
So she's been out since the summer, so it's nice to see her back. But we got to move on though, because we still got 3 matches to talk about for this one.
Yeah, I'm
Luchador.
sure that Defunto, well, and also our new king of hell.
Good. Yeah, good at Amaya Jr.
Yeah, he might have had some words too. So
Definitely. I don't have the slides for it, but I'm going to talk about it because Guerrero Maya Jr. is coming out from hell because he's trying to take down our Tempest Knight coming up in a couple of weeks for MLW, but that's for later talk. We got 3 matches left, so let's get into match number 4 of the card, which
Oof. Oof.
listen, Papa Oso's not here, so I got to take up the mantle. But honestly, though, what is Templario to Papa Oso, Esfinge is to me. But we do get a Relevo Australiano match here where, of course, we get, basically we get our New Japan strong tag champs teaming up with Esfinge, so Templario, TJP, who I am always happy to see here in Arena Mexico, and Esfinge taking on the team of Volador Jr., Rugido. And for tonight, Vegas said, I was like, this man is all over the place, and I love it.
Yeah. Is he an official part
Yep.
of the Depredadores?
I remember him being not indoctrinated. That's a horrible word, but
Yeah.
I remember him
Inducted.
earlier this year being
Yes.
invited into the
Yes.
fold.
Yes. Okay. Yes, that's all right. I do remember that. Yep.
So yeah, so this was Relevo Australiano, but for una caída, so this was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Vegas looked jacked.
Holy hell! I'm glad
Holy
you brought that up because
shite.
I was just listen. As soon as he came out, I clutched the
Damn.
imaginary pearls, and I was just like, "Now hold the phone." I was just like, "Hold
Ew.
up." I was like, "I know." I listen. I wear my glasses from time to time, especially when I'm looking at electronic screens for a long time. But at the same time, I was just like, "Now I know this man was not this jacked, or at least I don't remember." And I was just like, "Where's the fan? Cool me down."
Yeah. When he came out, I was like, "Where you get them lats, Vega? Where'd you get them lats? You didn't have those
Like,
lats last time I saw you."
I was like, "What Popeye spinach did you eat? Like the hell?"
Yeah, he got jacked. Yeah. He's ready. He's ready for the CMLL bodybuilding comp. But my only complaint about this match is that I felt it was short.
Well, I mean, it's true. It was only one fall, which I was very surprised. I
Yeah.
was just like, "Oh, this is only one fall. The heck?"
Yeah, I would have loved it if this was a straight up Relevo Australiano, or if they had a little bit more time to shine. Having said that, with everything that was on the card, it's understandable. But this was a really fun. Having said that, it was, dare I say, a great length. Even though I feel like it could have been longer, and I would have loved to have seen a Relevo Australiano, it was a great length, if that makes any sense whatsoever. They came in, they were entertaining. We saw a lot of great hits. And we got our technical team of Templario, TJP, and Isfing get the win. So
100%, they get the dub. So, and of course, we won't be done because TJP has come back this week too. So it's just like TJP out here, just be like, "Yeah, I'm here. Let's do it." I was like, "Yes."
yeah,
Him and I love his Aswang makeup. He comes out with the face paint and everything. I was just like,
yep, really cool.
so good. Anywho, but yeah, Templario, TJP, and Esfinge coming out for the win. A lot of these people are going to be busy for the next couple of weeks. I'm looking at you, Volador Jr. too, because you and Mystico are about to go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
I'm so excited. That match is going to eat. Yeah, Agent Lo-Fi, I was about to say too. I saw pictures and I was just like, I need everybody to stop getting muscle mass because I can't have multiple boyfriends here in CMLL. Like y'all, and girlfriends too, because the Amazonas too. I'm looking at you, Valkyrie. Here, I was like, girl, what are we doing? I was like,
yeah,
I'm looking
Olympia. Yeah.
at you.
Reina
Olympia.
Isis.
That too. I was like, listen, muscle
Mm.
muffins. I love you, but like, I
Knock it off.
I was like, y'all got to stop. It's getting out of hand. But
I'm
also,
a very mad. God damn it.
listen, let's be so for real. Alice would be like, do it. And
no,
she'd throw you to the side. She's like, move.
I was about to say, she would be like, no, me first. Yeah.
I was just like, same girl, same. But again, this was a really fun match. I do agree with you in the sense that this was a perfectly fine length. I do wish it was a traditional Relevo Australiano, but you know what? I will take what we can get because this was still a lot of fun. I thoroughly enjoyed this. Alrighty, getting into the semi-main event of this episode of Viernes Espectacular. We got our second Relampago match, and this one was kind of a surprise when we found out about it during Informa, where we get to the Arena Mexico debut of MLW star Mr. Austin Aries taking on Máscara Dorada. And I'm not gonna lie, I was a little thrown off because the way that Máscara had his eye paint in this mask, I was like, ooh, I'm kind of here for this.
Right?
I was like,
That like
yes.
maroonish look you had going on with the gold trim? Yes, sir.
Really, really fun.
Yes, sir.
Again, I try not to get canceled on this podcast. Like we have said lots of things. The wrestling world knows Austin Aries, like everything that has transpired in his career so far. I enjoyed him here, and I kind of like him here in Arena Mexico. Now, I don't want him to start beating luchadors left and right, but I really think this is a really fun like Arena Mexico debut for Austin Aries, and honestly, I feel like Máscara Dorada is a good choice to kind of play opposite to him, and really
Yes.
fun to see Austin Aries just be a complete dick.
Yes.
in CMLL here in Mexico, which I was just like, perfect, don't change a thing.
Yeah,
I
I
like
think
this Relampaco match. I really did.
yeah, definitely. I think chemistry wise, this was a great call, especially to have Austin Aries lose the match to Mascara Dorada. I wonder if I think it was around the 5-minute mark, Austin Aries tried a tope to the outside and he came up short and kind of face planted and Mascara couldn't really like adjust to catch him. So I'm wondering if that cut the match by a few seconds. And I mean, it went to I think it was like the 30-second mark, and that's when Mascara got the pin. But yeah, he after he came up short, like the beginning series was great. And I was really excited. But then when he tried to hit that tope and then he came up short from there on, it felt a little off.
I was like, oh no.
Yeah. I mean, still a great match. Dare I say for your US shows, this probably still could have been a main event match, you know? But yeah, in terms of CMLL, this was it was good, but it felt at least to me after that tope, it felt off.
Yeah, and Agent Lo-Fi coming in with his facts too. So, I mean, we all know that Austin Aries is towards like I don't want to say he's close to like the AJ Styles of I'm about to retire next year, but he is on the downswing of things. He's been in this business forever, so Austin Aries is kind of like just he's in cruise control mode for right now because I was like, I say he got like 3 or 4 more years left, honestly, or maybe 5, who knows. And apparently, and yeah, I have to agree. I caught a little bit of Saturday show because Austin Aries was in a triple threat, and he unfortunately did look out of place in there. And yeah, Agent Lo-Fi closing out the thoughts. Aries learned the hard lesson that Arena Mexico ropes are different height than the States.
Yep. Yeah, he was loose. He was used to that MLW distancing.
Seriously, it is out of control. But yeah, again, I do agree with you, Adolfo. I think the beginning sequence of this Relampago match was very, very solid. And I was like, ooh, this is going to be good. And then when Austin Aries face planted, I was just like, well, somebody had to do it. There's always one person every episode. Those ropes are going to kill somebody. It just happened to be almost you, Austin Aries. But you know what? I really do want to see him back here. I'm hoping that we get to see him. I don't know if he'll do it, but like he'll be like, hey, Austin, just a little bit of advice, like study some things, try to adapt to the lucha style as best as you can, because I would like to see you come back here. And again, I agree with you that Máscara Dorada was a really good call to kind of be that person to work off of Aries in his Arena Mexico debut. So Máscara Dorada picks up the victory here in this Relampago match. And I was just like, you know what? Pretty good stuff. Very solid stuff. Very fun stuff. And then momentarily, my brain was like, "Oh, we're at the main event." I was just like in my head, I was like, "Oh wait, I forgot what who's up on here right now," and I was just like, mi corazón, be like,
Soberano Jr. returns.
I was,
There were 3 other luchadors and Soberano Jr.
yes, I was just like three talented luchadors and my boyfriend.
And Soberano
be like our husbando is back.
Yeah.
No, but in the main event of this past Viernes Espectacular, we get a relevo sencillo. This was the a dos de tres caídas, so 2 out of 3 falls. Where of course we got Titan, who I love with all my heart. Titan is so damn good. Atlantis Jr. and rocking this kind of dominatrix like bisexual Undertaker vibes vest, which I'm here for. And then, of course, they were taking on Angel de Oro and
Soberano, yeah.
Husbando Soberano Jr.
Returning. So
returning.
to fill our newer CMLL fans in, Soberano Jr. is one of, if not the top rudo in CMLL. And not only is he a very talented, very young wrestler, very easy on the eyes, hubba hubba, but he has
Aruga.
this charisma. Yeah, Aruga. He has this charisma to him that just oozes out of the ring, and just he enraptures.
Literally, Soberano Jr.'s
Crowd.
return was a big
Yeah.
reason why it sold out that night.
I mean, right there, boom. That's like proof in the pudding. And what was it at NJPW that he got injured earlier this year?
Yeah, that's the crazy thing. He got injured during that CMLL versus New Japan like battle royale they had at Wrestle Dynasty. Yeah, Wrestle Dynasty.
Yeah.
And so he's been out since then, and now he's back, and I'm just like, I have missed you.
Yeah, and
it's
it's funny too, because out of all the luchadors, like it seems like every week, after like the first week of his absence, every week people were like, "Where's Soberano Jr.? Where's Soberano Jr.?" So he's back, and yeah, and the amount of women in the crowd.
Listen,
Yeah.
I'm just
Dude,
saying. There was a lot of women in that crowd too, but Agent Lo-Fi, I would listen. We're far enough into the review. I was like, there was a lot of women, and that totally makes sense. But I also would be lying if I were in that crowd. I would knock a bitch out too. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
I would knock a bitch out.
Yeah,
I turned into one of those rabid fans. It's like,
right, yeah, one of the ones when he went to give kisses to the ladies in the front row. Be like,
First of all, so before we get into this match, though, that train robe thing that we had going on, Soberano, I was just like,
oh,
you better work, bitch.
right? Yo, he's gonna have to throw down with Zandakan Jr. when Zandakan Jr. comes back for that whole, because Zandakan's got the whole like king of the world robe thing going on. So that's like, they're gonna have a battle of the robes on that one. Yeah, he's our familiar. That's right. But let's talk about the match. Let's talk about the match.
Yes.
So it was I felt it was a good ending match. Weird. You could definitely tell that the crowd was there to see Soberano Jr., right?
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like the crowd wanted nothing to do with Atlantis Jr.
Which seems to be the norm. To be completely honest, this poor kid gets booed.
Right. And then although like most weeks Atlantis Jr. will get booed, but most weeks it's like not that loud because they're like, oh, you're still a technico and you're fighting a rudo, so we're gonna cheer you just based on that merit. But like this Friday, it was audible, the boos for Atlantis Jr. And then
it's like, damn, now that's what CMLL wants the audio to work. The hell? I'm just kidding.
And then Titan and Angel de Oro, the crowd, when they were in there, the crowd seemed like meh, you know, which is a shame because all four of these luchadors wrestled a really good. Excuse me, I'm burping. All four of these luchadors wrestled a really good match. For his first match back, I feel that this was the right choice to do with Soberano Jr. instead of like putting him like on a 1v1 or whatnot, because he looked solid for his first match back in 2-3 months, and I feel that he's got a good working relationship with Angel de Oro and Titan and Atlantis Jr. Um, there did seem like there was one or two miscues, very small, very slight, but it's one of those things like if you knew what you were looking for, you saw it and you're like, Titan, I felt on the technical side held the ship. I felt like Atlantis Jr. Was just kind of like, I'm here too, here's a
He was
swirling
floating like a
backbreaker.
fish.
Ah,
He was floating.
um,
He was in cruise control. So yeah.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, like Primo
I
said,
love you, Primo.
yeah,
Yeah, the dynamic was totally non-existent. This was great, and you sent the crowd home happy with the win.
exactly.
Pretty rare.
Yeah.
Of course, we did get a little bit of Soberano on the mic, so it was really, really nice. And I was like, I missed you so much. I'm happy that you are back.
Yeah.
Now I just need Flip Gordon to come back, and we are all copacetic.
And Zandakan, I'm telling you, they gotta have a Soberano Jr. versus Zandakan Jr. for the role.
There can only be one.
There can only be one.
I'm excited, and yeah, I'm excited to see more Soberano Jr. And whenever we do, because if I remember correctly, we were building up to a Mystico Soberano showdown, and then when he got hurt, so I was like, I'm ready for that match to happen. And this was a really fun way to send the crowd home happy. Yep. And this was a fun episode of CMLL Viernes Espectacular. But we got more stuff coming this Friday, so let's preview all that stuff. So I don't have an updated poster because it was literally just released like not too long ago. I don't know how the PR team and the promotion works in terms of sponsorships and things like that for CMLL, but they dropped news that tomorrow's Viernes Espectacular is now going to be a collaboration show with Linkin Park of all things.
Interesting.
I was just like, hold the fuck up. I was just like, CMLL and Linkin Park. I was like, listen, this year has shown me that CMLL, when they get an opportunity, they're going to make this count, because never in my wildest dreams did I think a CMLL Pokemon crossover would happen. And it was amazing.
And be successful.
And it was successful. That's the whole thing.
That shit worked.
I was just like, you had the wrestlers coming out in their attire, like after Pokemon. Like I literally had Uvia come out like a freaking Togepi. We had Mystico come up as Ha Lucha, and Hechicero coming up as a Machamp. La Catalina was Sylveon, and I was just like, these bitches know how to make it work.
And people loved it. The fans loved it. That was anyway. Go ahead. Let's talk about this upcoming Friday.
Yeah, so this is going to be another collab. I don't know if there's going to change anything in terms of aesthetics, but we are getting a Linkin Park and CMLL crossover collab with some shirt. But yeah, I was just like, this is amazing. But this Friday for Viernes Espectacular, November 14th, we got some good stuff happening. So first and foremost, we're kicking things off with a rematch from this week, as we are going to get a rematch between Oro Jr. and Diamond taking on Bolvora and El Coyote. So that should be a lot of fun. Then we're bringing back one of my new favorite types of matches here in CMLL, which is the Relevo Atomicos match. So we are getting an Atomicos match with Stigma, Rayo Metalico, Pegaso, and Arcalis taking on Greneo, Calavera Jr. 1 y 2, and Infarto. So those are the 8. That is going to be crazy. It's going to be so much fun. Then we are getting an Amazonas trios / grudge match ? Because we're getting faction on faction, which is going to be good. So we are getting Marcela, Princesa Suhuit, and La Magnifica taking on Zuxis, Juvia, and Valkyria. I was like, muscle mommies incoming. Let's go.
Zuxis and Juvia on the same team.
Crazy. I would have never have guessed if you had asked me at the beginning of this year.
Interesting.
Right? I'm excited.
In the year of our Lord 2025. I did not have that on my bingo card.
It was not on my bingo card, but I'm so happy that it is now. And then after that trios match, we get into our first of 2 championship matches. We are getting the Mexican National Trios Championships on the line as we have Akuma and Los Gemelos Diablos, the Diablos, taking on Felino Jr., Hijo de Stuca Jr., and El Cobarde, who are the champions. So this is going to be amazing. But then when I saw the poster, we're not getting just one. We're getting 2 championship matches. And in the semi-main event, we are getting the New Japan Strong Tag Team Championships on the line. Templario and TJP will be defending their titles against Los Hermanos Chavez. So Angel de Oro and Niebla Roja are challenging for the New Japan Strong titles. And I was just like, I'm just like, this could be interesting depending on how this goes. Yep. I'm still putting money on Templario and TJP, but who knows? They might surprise me.
Yep.
And then, of course, in our main event, we are getting a tag team match where Atlantis Jr. and Neon are teaming together to take on Volador Jr. and Hechicero. So that should be fun. I'm still waiting to see if Hechicero is going to be pulling double duty again. Well, actually, no, that's this Friday. Full Gear is next Friday, next Saturday. So never mind then. Right. But looking to be a very solid episode of Viernes Espectacular. Yep. And you know what? I'm super excited for it. It's gonna be fun. Mm-hmm. Now, of course, I don't have any particular noticia slides, but I want to start getting things in people's heads a little bit because coming up in a couple of weeks, there is a lot of CMLL presence at this upcoming MLW show, which I was just like, what the hell, y'all? There is so many CMLL talents. It's getting crazy out here. So in a couple of weeks, MLW is teaming up with Don Gato Tequila, which is a crazy sentence to say in 2025. But there's a lot of CMLLs, and I'm going to be so for real. There's more CMLL talent on this show than the regular MLW talent, which I'm not going to complain. Right. Because we got a lot. Yeah, so, of course, we have the Opera Cup finals coming up. Mystico and Volador Jr. My that match going bang. I can't wait to see that one. And then we get a whole bunch of other stuff, too. Like, we are just getting a fatal 4-way of just CMLL legacies because it is Los Panthers, so Blue Panther and, Blue Panther Jr., taking on Los Felinos versus Los Atlanticis and versus El Galeon Fantasma. So I'm like, oh my God, I'm ready.
Wow.
I was just like, they're calling it the Gatos Gauntlet. I was just like, this is crazy. These 8 members, the 4 teams is crazy. Wow. Then just recently announced, like I said, because I mentioned that our new, Undead King, Guerrero Maya Jr. is coming out of hell for a little bit because he will be taking on Templario for the MLW World Middleweight Championship. So that should be a really solid match. And then rounding our CMLL stuff, of course, we're getting a triple threat lightning match between Okumura, Stigma, and one of my new favorites, Mr. Diego Hill. No, 100% Primo. Yeah. MLW knows that CMLL sells, which is great.
Yep, especially in the markets that they go to. Yeah,
seriously. I mean, this is in Charleston. Yep. It's a very interesting market to see. And then, of course, this will be, unless they do a Christmas show, this will be the final show for MLW in 2025. Because then in January, we're back to Kings of Coliseum. And then in February, it's Lucha Apocalipto.
Yep.
And honestly, I'm with you, Agent Lo-Fi. I'm not going to complain about some free CMLL matches. But I'm also excited for the rest of the matches, too. Like Killer Cross is going to be there, taking on Matt Riddle. Mads Kruger is going to be taking on Brock Anderson in a bunkhouse match. The Good Brothers versus the Skyscrapers, but let's be so for real. The women's matches is where I'm at. Shotzi versus Priscilla Kelly makes me super excited. And then the most recent match they announced earlier in the week, we are getting formerly of NXT UK and WWE famous Isla Dawn. Love her, our Scottish spoopy witch. She is taking on Killer Cross's waifu, Scarlett. So Scarlett's returning to in-ring, and I was like,
nice.
All my spooky girls are in the same building. I can't complain about that. But yes, free CMLL matches. It's going to be great.
Yeah, and I feel that this is that is the most women's matches that we've seen in an MLW
right
show in a while.
For real.
Now we just need them to bring over some of the Amazonas.
Seriously, give me more Amazonas in MLW. It would be so...
And we know they have the partnership with TPJW.
Yeah, Joshi. Yeah, TJPW.
Thank you. Thank you.
Essentially Joshi Pro, which I'm excited for.
Yeah,
I mean, so much fun. Stuff to look forward to in the next couple of weeks. But that's going to be it for us for CMLL. I'm so excited. Hopefully we will have the full panel next Wednesday. But we do have 2 things remaining this week in our normal week before Chaos Brains for the next couple of weeks after. Friday, it has been almost a whole month because they decided to not do any new tapings, but we are finally back with TNA this Friday. We are not only reviewing the Thursday episode, but we are jumping straight into the gate because we will also be doing predictions for TNA's Turning Point, which is airing this Friday in the middle of our review. Because I was just like, 4 weeks of no shows after the last big pay-per-view. So why not jump into a big pay-per-view? I was like, okay. And then, of course, Sunday, we round things out with our WWE review. And then Chaos reigns for the next couple of weeks because we got TV specials. We got an AEW pay-per-view coming up very, very soon. Progress Wrestling is making some statements over in the UK. Mexico is about to go ham. Thanksgiving is going to be here. We also got Mystery Wrestling happening in Canada, which is nuts to see. It's a lot of things. And then, of course, that we're going to round that all out because I know that not everyone loves the Fed, but part of my Thanksgiving break is I will be in San Diego live for Survivor Series. So, listen, I get to see mommy live, so I win.
And in CMLL, we're gearing up for the Torneo de Leyendas.
Yes. I was just like,
yeah, we got a lot of end of the year goodness coming up in CMLL
for reals. And of course, my favorite thing is coming up very soon in terms of every projects we do here at BC WrestlePod. I don't care if it's just 2 people or we get a whole bunch of people, but keep putting it in your calendars, y'all. The 2025 BC WrestlePod end of the year podcast is coming, where we talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of wrestling in 2025 and yell at each other for 2 hours. It's going to be great. But we got to get up on out of here. So thank you so much for tuning into Los Lobos de la Lucha. We will be back next Wednesday, same time, 8 p.m. Pacific, to talk about more Lucha Libre goodness. But until then, from all of us here at BC WrestlePod to you at home, remember, take care of yourself, love one another, stay iconic, and more importantly than anything, you always deserve to finish your story. We will catch you later for other reviews this week. But until then, sayonara, adios, and until next time, peace.
Me tiene loco en la cabeza cuando me tocas. Siento que todo está bien, pero en verdad yo no sé si tú lo sientes también.